Welcome to the Bookshelf Odyssey podcast, and I have a special guest on the show today. So break out your cookbooks and your detective kits because our guest today is author Jessica Thompson, and she's written a new mystery series called A Caterer's Guide to Crime. And the first in the series is called The Caterer's Guide to Love and Murder. And that book is about, oh, there we go. That's a really fun cover. I love that cover. What's this book about? It says that as their wedded bliss starts to show signs of a serious strain, Violet and her new husband, Jake, put their feelings aside to focus on catering a wedding that could make or break her career. When murder ruins the rehearsal dinner and her sister, Greta, the florist, becomes the prime suspect, Violet risks everything to clear her and still deliver the beautiful wedding her new friend deserves. But will she be in time before the killer dishes out seconds? I love it. I love it. So let's find out more about this deliciously mysterious book. And Jessica, welcome to the Bookshelf Odyssey podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. I think you had reached out to me on Instagram, and I was really grateful for that. Got a copy of your book and just enjoyed it. So just happy to have you on. Well, so we're going to talk a bit about cozy mysteries today. There's food is a big part there in your mystery series. But before we get farther, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Jessica Thompson. Yeah, I write culinary cozy mysteries, even though a lot of people have never even heard of those. I live in the Austin, Texas area. Mm-hmm. Grew up in California. I like to cook and write and read mysteries. So it all just came together.
Yeah. It seems like the two really do well with each other. The food and the mystery and just the cozy atmosphere. It really mixes well. Yeah. Well, I like to ask really tough questions to start with. So the first one is, what is your favorite book and why?
Okay. I knew you were going to ask that. So I got to give a shout out to Agatha.
Oh, yeah.
The Murder of Roger Ackroyd.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stop talking about it, but I also can't talk about it because everything about it will give away. So.
Yeah. There it is.
It's so tightly plotted that you really can't talk about it because it all fits.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Oh, it's so good. And then the surprise. Anyway. Yeah.
When I first read it, I first heard about it years ago because I was reading. First, I was a teenager discovering Agatha Christie, and but somebody spoiled it for me.
Oh no!
It was an article or something I was reading, and I thought, oh, well, that's. Why do I even need to read it? I know. So I didn't actually read it until just a couple years ago because if you've read the book, you know.
Yeah, exactly. If you know, you know.
Yeah, that's right. We don't do spoilers here if we can help it. So,
even like a sentence before the big reveal, I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, I have been surprised by Christie over the years, though. The Murder on the Orient Express is a classic one that I had no idea about who did it. So I was completely surprised when I read that one.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And Murder in the Muse is pretty short, but that one's really surprising too. It's like something that looks like something else that actually is something and actually is. It's like layers. Ah.
Right. Well, this is good for good topic. We're talking about books we can't talk about, so this is great. I read the first book of your series, and we can talk a little bit about that one at least. But yeah, I don't want to give away spoilers either because I'm really looking forward to the next one because it's about Christmas, and I love Christmas. And I actually do a Christmas podcast along with this one. So
great.
So coming up this December, I might talk about, I'll probably talk about it too. So there you go. So this is right in my wheelhouse.
Very good.
So as an author, you're an author now. What was that journey like? How did you become a writer? Was there a big sign in the sky that said, "Hey, Jessica, time to write"?
Kind of.
Okay, well, tell us about it.
I think most people slowly evolve into it, but I had a moment. So I always liked like school assignments. I liked the writing part, and I always liked mysteries and cooking, and I'm a horticulturalist by training, so I also know a lot about poisons.
Okay.
So that works in too. Anyway, so I always liked writing, but I never considered it as a career or anything because it was too competitive. There's too many people out there that want to write. And it's like thinking I could just go to Hollywood and become a famous actress. Like, no way. No way. But then I discovered culinary cozy mysteries, and that was the big, like, Clouds Parted, Choirs of Angels, because it was this specific niche that made for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love it when you can find your niche like that, and it suits you, it suits your audience, and it's like a perfect blend. Yeah.
So then I started writing this one. This one's my first book.
Yeah, I got a little confused because there are a couple other authors named Jessica Thompson that I found on your website. You linked to them, which is really funny.
Because I've emailed them like, hey, just so you know, I'm here too.
Yeah.
An email that looks like it's for me. I think I got one for another Jessica Thompson the other day, and it was like, I should have asked.
Yeah.
Please come up.
Yeah. So if your name is Jessica, you're already halfway there to being a writer, it sounds like.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I don't think they were around when I started writing the first book, but it took me so long that by the time I published, there were already two others.
Oops. Great. Well, I love that you're just give them a little shout out and direct traffic their way. So, yeah.
Different genres, at least.
Yeah, there's that. But yeah, I was looking you up on Amazon and found your mysteries, but then I found these other books that like, oh, maybe she's nonfiction and fiction writer both. And well, okay, that explains it.
Yeah, there's a fiction writer in the UK and then a nonfiction writer in the US. But we all look very different and different genres and different places. So I figured I would just go with it. I
was just thinking now I should have them on the next two episodes and that we just have the three. Yeah. Okay.
A Jessica Thompson panel.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, now that actually sounds like it'd be pretty fun. So
cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to talk about this one, the mystery writer. All right. Well, I saw on your website, and you mentioned it a little bit, that you're also an avid chef. You describe yourself as a food science geek. Oh, now, I think I know what that is, but is that, well, could you explain that to us? Food science geek.
Like, there's a lot of science in baking.
Sure.
And even everything else, like, so the book I read lately that I was going to suggest. Anyway, like what baking soda does to proteins, what cornstarch does to proteins. So what else? Like, what MSG does to your tongue.
Oh, well, now I'm curious and horrified. I don't know.
It's basically a tongue drug.
Okay. And that's what makes food taste good, huh?
Yeah. So it's all really interesting. And
then, as you mentioned, you know a little bit about poison too. So be careful if you get a plate of cookies.
Don't mix those up.
Yes. Well, that's fun. And then all these things come together, like ingredients for a recipe, right? And then you're able to get into writing. So the Caterer's Guide to Crime series, so far as 2 books in the series. It follows the main character, Violet, who is a caterer. And in the first novel I read, I really thought it was a lot of fun because there's just some different things about it when I first start reading. One
Okay.
is your main character is married already, which all the cozies I've been reading lately, it's always like the main character's single, she's just had a divorce or just broken up or
Yeah.
this or that. And then suddenly it's like, oh, well, here we are. We just skipped to the end. Okay. This
I
is
mean, there's
great.
going to be conflict in every
Oh
story,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it was
I,
like start writing with what I know.
yeah. Yeah. And the opening line for your book, I just died laughing. So,
Because that scene actually happened in my
okay.
house. I was making strudel and the dough is so sexy. It's the smoothest dough, smoothest thing ever.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
basically called that out. And then my
mhm.
husband was like, what?
What'd you just say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you said, wait, what? Anyway, so I wrote it
Well,
down.
they say write what you know. So there you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun right from the get go. And,
Good.
but yeah, I like that kind of fresh approach. So I mean, even a little detail like that, I think it sets the whole mystery, the whole story just in a different light,
Thank
because
you.
she's not pining after the, the hunky detective, she's already married and all that. And,
Yeah.
but
But the next book, I am going back in time to when they meet. So then she will maybe
okay.
not pine, but
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like that. I'm intrigued now. But then they, not everything is rosy and perfect in their marriage. You find out that even early in their marriage, they've got there's some conflict that is causing some, I don't know, strain would be the right word, but it's an issue that they're working through about planning to have children.
yeah,
And
I figure
she's,
that's real,
oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So I like to add a little bit more real to my cozies than other cozies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And it worked. At first, it really just the whole first couple of chapters when that stuff was coming up, I'm thinking, this is different. This is really different. And this is husband and wife. This is what happens. They work through those things. Well, I say I'd enjoy a book either for its characters or for its plot. I guess
Mm-hmm.
those are really the only two things you got.
Yeah, I guess so.
But this is a series I really enjoy the characters, especially.
Oh, good.
I mean, the plot kept me guessing till the end. Although
Good. Both.
I struggle with. I don't know if I'd make a good detective in real life. I'll just put it that way. But
Yeah.
okay,
In real life, I just kind of go with it. Like, oh, yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I really enjoy the characters, what they go through. The fact that you're bringing some real world things in. And Violet, she's struggling with OCD. I think is that right?
A little,
A little
like, she's
bit.
not diagnosable, but
Okay.
she has tendencies.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought,
Persnickety, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's adds an interesting element to her character. I think that, especially when, oh, a dead body and I gotta touch it or yeah,
Yeah.
I need to clean something. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
it, it actually reminded me of my sister. She's a lot like that. Probably not diagnosable, like you said, but
Yeah.
if she's stressed or if something comes up, she's like, I gotta go clean until I feel better.
Yeah.
Where's the bleach?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
not liking things dirty. And I think so my intention was to make her, more attuned to details because of that.
Hmm.
So she
Hmm.
might see things that other people wouldn't see.
Yeah. The whole mystery aspect of it. And I won't give away any spoilers here, but that really had me thinking through all of it, trying to figure out, okay, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Who done it? And, half the time I'm guessing like all the characters, it's this, no, it's that one. It's this one. It's all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
But
worked.
I love it. I love it. So, if you enjoy good mystery, if you enjoy cozies, if you enjoy food, I mean, this book is going to be right up your alley. Why did you choose cozies, or cozy mystery? Is that one of your favorites or?
Yeah. It's definitely one of my favorites, and the way to work in food and mysteries. And I like clean books.
Mhm.
So it's not going to be real gritty. I like happy books.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I like about the cozies is I can hand them to my kids if I thought
Yeah,
it was good, and feel safe about the content that might be in it. And
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there still had to be a motive for murder,
Hmm.
but yeah, pretty safe. My
Yeah.
12-year-old has read it.
I mean, sometimes you need that escape from the real world. And I think cozy mysteries really provide that. So
Totally.
yeah. Yeah. What's been one of the biggest blessings or rewards that you've had since becoming a writer?
Getting to do it more and more often because writing the first book, you don't really know if it's going to work or if you're going to be able to maybe do it as a job, do it as a lifestyle,
Hmm.
be consistent about it. Like, is it even worth being consistent about it if you don't have a book deal? So then I'm now able to do it more often and dedicate more time and energy to it because it's going somewhere.
Hmm.
It's working. So it's been really fun to be able to spend all day.
Typing away, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm editing. So even though editing kind of stinks,
Mm.
kind of stinks a lot, kind of stinks a little bit more than a lot.
Yeah.
It's still funner than other jobs.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Being able to do what you love. I mean,
Yeah.
my wife is a big grammar nerd.
Oh yeah.
She has, when we were in college and all that, she would grade my papers, and it'd be devastating. I'd get them back, she'd marked all over the paper, and I'm like, oh, come on. I edited this myself. And she's, it's that out outside look, that, well, here, this will make it better. And she's right. I mean, she's right, 100% of the time.
Yeah. It
But
needs it, but it's still hard.
even podcasting, I like to edit, take out parts and like, this sounds better this way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you're writing. So can we expect more in this series then,
Oh yeah.
from Violet?
I've
Good.
started a third Violet book, and yeah, it's a prequel. So even though my friends think it's a bad idea, but it's a prequel that I always knew I was going to write. So it was
Mhm.
like, I'm not just making stuff up. It's like, no, this was already their backstory that I didn't talk about. It didn't come up. If it
Mhm.
doesn't fit into the plot, don't put it in. I'm not just going to shoehorn it in.
Mhm.
Anyway, so I always knew they met over a case. So I'm writing.
Fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That could be the trouble with prequels is that, they go back and rechange the history, and then you're like, wait, that doesn't even fit. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Like, what? Who is this? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Going in with that awareness, I think you'll be on the right
Oh, good.
track.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm also editing a standalone mystery that I started about the same time as, well, before this one was published,
Hmm.
because I figured I should try to write a few different things and then see what landed, see what stuck.
Hmm.
Anyway, so it's this story I really loved, but it's not in the series. So I'm just kind
Hmm.
of slowly, but I think it's finally time to, I just started querying it.
I think I saw you have some short stories coming out too.
Oh yeah. So, I'm putting out a short story anthology with my writing group.
Hmm.
So it's a spooky, well, we're getting away from the word spooky because everyone thought spooky meant like horror, and it's not horror. It's more like cozy where, oh, stuff happens. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. Well, yeah, I just picked up a collection of, it was advertised as like a Victorian ghost stories, and talking about chilling tales and all this. And I know some of the stories in it, and I read, and so I'm like, well, those aren't actually that scary. And I read somebody else's review of it, and they said, yeah, there's maybe only one story that was actually scary. You need to remarket this, be a little more
Exactly.
authentic. Yeah.
So we're working on our marketing right now, but we're probably going to self-publish it like in fall. So yeah, I have two
All
stories
right.
in that, and then I'm in someone else's anthology about miracles.
Now, did you self-publish the other two, or are those through a
No,
traditional?
I'm published through Darkstroke. They're
Okay.
a small publishing house that they usually focus on their logos right there.
Okay. Yeah.
Darkstroke. They focus on ebooks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, since this anthology is kind of just a pet project, we're doing it on our own. And so the standalone novel I'm working on is called Shoot, Shovel, and Shut Up. It's not cozy, but it's also not a cozy.
Yeah. Well, I love the title. So
It's more like a traditional mystery, like an Agatha Christie.
yeah.
It's not about food and it's not cute, but it's not real gritty.
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
so I'm looking for a different publisher for that because it's different.
It's different and set apart from the other ones. Right. Well, the title has a thumbs up for me. That sounds really fun. So
It's
yeah.
because it's set on like a Texas ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents have a Texas ranch like 5 minutes away from my house.
Oh, fun.
Anyway, so we work on the ranch a lot. And it's this ideology that farmers have because there are laws against killing something like birds of prey. It's illegal to kill birds of prey. But all the old like farmers around my parents, because they're kind of new to this. But anyway, it's this established, just kind of like quietly acknowledged, you do what you have to do, and then you just don't tell anyone.
Mm.
So that's Shoot, Shovel, and Shut Up.
Yeah. That has a making for a mystery right there. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hope it gets published. That sounds intriguing. Yeah. Wonderful. To go on to the final portion here, I like to ask 3 questions of my guests. First of all, I want to ask, when did you first realize that words and stories have power?
I would say that's the best thing that came out of all those really depressing books they made you read in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was a requirement for everything they made us read in high school. Is it depressing? Okay, let's give it to the teenagers.
Yeah, they're depressed enough, or they're not depressed enough. Yeah.
Yeah, let's throw gas on that fire. Anyway,
Right.
So I pretty much hated most of the books they made us read in high school. But the mere fact that they can make you depressed, powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Stories really, it's hard to remember they're fake.
Yeah.
You get so emotionally invested.
Do you have anything you're reading lately that you would recommend to us?
Oh yeah, that's why I brought my meat book.
Okay, let's hear about it.
So I guess meat is kind of controversial nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But well, my parents are meat ranchers. They're longhorn cattle ranchers, so it's responsibly sourced, ethically raised. Anyway, so I believe in meat. Not for every meal.
Mm-hmm.
Doing what's good for the animal and the planet. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But this book was really interesting. I think it's my new favorite nonfiction because I really was able to understand butchering. It's butchering, it's growing, it's cooking. There's a whole section about offal, the offcut organs and stuff. It's so interesting.
Yeah. So is that what they would call like a microhistory kind of thing where they do detail into one topic?
Yeah. Because it dives really deep into one topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do use this one. So the river cottage, that's like one farm. So I guess they do use that as the way to dive.
Well, I've been reading a couple things here. One, if you like cozy mysteries set in a food, world, I just started reading the Beacon Bakeshop mystery series by Darcy Hannah. If you folks like what Jessica writes, this is in that similar vein of she runs a bakery out of an old lighthouse up in Michigan. Oh yeah, it's really fun. I debated whether to recommend a similar book to yours. I don't want to make overshadow you or whatever, but these would be great companion series to read. So I was also reading a book called the Peppermint Tea Chronicles by Alexander McCall Smith. He's a Scottish writer, if you're familiar with him.
Not him, but
or his works. Yeah. Yeah, I love his 44 Scotland Street series, which is, this book is in that series. And it's not a mystery or anything. It's just a cozy read of life happening in Scotland. And I love it. It's a great series. So
that's great.
Those are two I've been reading lately and trying to relax and unwind. And
yeah. Well, that's great.
That,
yeah, so. Definitely suggest books that are similar to mine, because I'm a reader too. And people don't read one book and stop, you know?
Right.
Always, like you say, always looking for your next book.
Yep. Final question is, do you have any advice for aspiring authors?
Oh, yeah. So I would definitely say to network. I was a closet writer for a few years. It's hard to tell people that you're doing something, trying to dive into a world that's so competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I didn't tell people for a long time, but then once I started networking, then the author world is so inclusive and so supportive that there's nothing you can't do, because then you just ask, hey, can I be on your podcast? And someone's like, yes! You know, it's great. So trying to come out of that writing closet and start networking, making friends. Everybody helps each other. It's great.
Yeah, that's something I've realized is among authors, is I've been trying to interview different authors and things, you know, is that many of them are very supportive of each other, and they are excited when somebody else succeeds. You know, even if they lost an award to this other author, you know, they're excited for them. Like, oh, this is so great. You deserve that and all that. And it's amazing.
Yeah, that happened to me recently, but it was like a friend. So, and it was like, yes, her book is definitely way better than mine.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not supposed to say that.
So you're not going to go out and slash her tires or give her,
no.
Give her a plate of cookies that might have some little something extra in it. See, I've been reading too many mysteries now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the basis for the next.
Okay. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for reaching out, and I really enjoyed your book, and I can't wait to read the next ones. And so, if folks want to find you online, you have a website or on your social medias, where are you at?
Yeah, my website is jessicathompsonauthor.com, because, like we said, there's a different jessicathompson.com. And my handle on all the socials is Jessica TH Author. I guess I'm mostly on Instagram, but I'm on all of them.
I've enjoyed your Instagram presence, so definitely.
Yeah, I feel like Instagram's the most fun.
Yeah. I'm
inclusive and kind.
Yeah.
Not like Twitter.
Yeah. I guess it depends on who you follow. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
If I don't follow very many on those. So lately I've been scrolling through my social medias, and it's either Christmas related or book related, or some coffee stuff is starting to slip in, because I love coffee. So
fun.
I'm like, yeah, hey, this is great.
This is all year.
That's right. I mean, I love Christmas. That's probably pushing it for me, but
yeah, some people really can't do a Christmas book in the off season.
Right.
So, if you can. But
I can.
My husband is like, no, Christmas stays at Christmas.
I get. Yeah, my Christmas podcast I run year round as well. Although during the November, December time, it gets more frequent, you know. That's when the downloads really start coming on. Nice. And then by the end of December, you're thinking, I am a podcasting megastar. And then January hits and the ratings just drop. Like, oh, wait, yeah, that's right. It was a seasonal thing. So,
darn.
Yeah, Jessica, thank you so much for being on. And again, everyone go out and get her books, the Caterer's Guide to Crime series. It'll be worth your time.
Hold it up again.
Okay, here we go. There you are. Both of them are available at your finer bookshops on Amazon. And are they only through Amazon or everywhere?
Yeah, my publisher works mostly through Amazon.
Okay, yeah. And I got mine on Kindle, so it was a great read. So, Jessica, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.